If you buy the 20-piece,
Sit.
the Colonel bucket deal at KFC, you get a free vaccine.
Wow.
The vaccine's free anyways.
I'm just kidding. It's like, wow.
Buy the Baconator and you get a free fucking COVID shot.
I
I said
honestly
that to my
was like,
parents the other day, and they were like, "What?"
okay. With that, is that the start of the podcast?
Yes, and we
Yeah.
got to let everyone know that the podcast is once again brought to us by Traction Coffee, the fine people over there in Colorado, rider owned.
See if we can get the graphic right this time. Every single time the graphic is wrong.
The Unclicked Traction Coffee bag. If you buy one, $5 of it goes to them and us. Flying out a special guest,
Yeah.
Whoever the people in the comments say once we have the plane ticket money, which hopefully is getting pretty close by now.
Yeah,
We
it
haven't
should
been
be.
keeping
It
track,
should be.
but-
Oh, you actually have an Unclicked sticker on the traction
Yeah.
today.
So it's an actual blend, and then, as you said, $5 goes to like just literally just a little pool to get somebody special out. Somebody that couldn't normally come, legendary type. So pretty cool.
I don't know
So,
who that could
you a
be.
coffee drinker?
I don't know who that could be.
JJ is, and you're staying at JJ's house. So.
I do like coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sweet.
like coffee.
Traction
Only with-
sponsored.
only
Traction
with-
Just for me?
gift.
Only with giraffes,
Special
right?
gift for me, right?
Coffee with giraffes.
Exactly.
Whoops, Siri's listening to me. Traction Coffee, buy me a bag of Unclicked. Oh shit! Get out of here.
So, before we roll into everything, what was up with that Instagram post? Instagram's Instagram.
Oh, the main account.
Yeah. How did that come about?
I was just sitting around one day, and one of the curators from Instagram, like Facebook, they just reached out to me.
Does something like, I mean, okay, so what does that? I didn't look at it after I initially saw it, but like, I mean, it's got to have millions of views, right?
I think it has almost 10 million views.
Yeah. So what does that do for somebody like you?
What does it do?
Like, I mean, how many followers do you get? What did your DMs look like
What are you guys
afterwards?
talking about?
The Instagram post.
What is that?
So he didn't see
I
it.
got an Insta.
Instagram has an Instagram.
Okay.
At
And
Instagram.
they posted Brad.
They posted Brad.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest Instagram there is. Instagram's
I would-
Instagram,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah, it's like I think they have like over 300 million followers on it. So it's the biggest platform on Instagram.
you couldn't
so
have told him to tag at BMX or something.
You didn't film the clip.
Fair enough.
True.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So how'd that
But
happen? That's
yeah,
pretty
how
sick.
did that like? So you said I think you said yesterday that they sent you some questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the curators reached out to me and they asked if I would be interested in being featured on the site. I didn't know what that entails. So, like, okay, like, send me some questions and like, which clip are you interested in using? So he sent me a few clips. He sent one clip I didn't want to. I wasn't into. I was like, out of all the clips on my page, I posted.
Which
like,
clip?
It was just like a little tree ride.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you want that clip? I don't know. I think some of it has to do more with like facial recognition.
Yeah.
But
You never know what people like that are looking for because they could be like, he's riding a tree. You
Yeah.
know, like they just like the concept of that is like interesting.
Yeah, and I wasn't that into it at first. Like, I mean, the clip. So I sent him 3 or 4 other ones, and he's still like, no. I'm like, God damn, like, well, what do you want? Which one do you want? So he chose another clip, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with that one. I'm all right with it. But it was still wasn't what I wanted. I was looking for something that had more wow factor.
Yeah.
I'm like something that's going to really.
Yeah. This is my shot.
Right. So this was during the time when
Cat's here.
hello.
Yeah.
This was during the time when
Dennis protects his coffee.
He always comes up here. He'll put his paw in my drink. He loves it. Put his tail in there.
so this was during like George Floyd and all like the crazy riots and stuff.
Yeah.
So he,
So it took that long to come out. Like, so
Yeah.
they're running like months ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they're strategic with their
Yeah.
planning. So yeah, it was around that time, and they asked me. It was a full interview. So what you saw on Instagram was only one answer.
Oh, great.
There's like 25 questions, but during like the course of this year and all the crazy things that happened, so like what the original post changed. So it just more so it went to like me being like an interesting content creator.
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, it's so interesting on that, like, multi-million-dollar level, like how brands think. Like, it's interesting that like people who work for Instagram are just kind of scrolling around looking for people, you know,
Right.
and then
I'm
they
sure
and then
they
it
don't even have to do that. I'm sure that shit is so smart with that AI that it's like these are the guys just blowing up on the internet right now. And there's a list, and there's Brad, and they're like, he looks cool. BMX, that's sick. I don't think there's someone like searching
to a
around too
degree.
hard.
I'm sure.
I think that tells them who to grab.
Maybe
That shit's
there's
smart.
There's both. Like there's
yeah.
loads of people working. The guy called. He messaged me, sent me an email. Then I was like, "Is this real?" So I was like, "What's your phone number?" I was like, "I was like, you have time to talk?" So I wanted to call and just make sure and see see if things were legit. So we talked for 20 minutes, and he said, "Yeah, I'll shoot you some questions in the next 4 to 5 days." And he shot back some of the most difficult questions I ever had to answer.
Like what?
They just have like a lot of things to do with like inclusion. That stuff, just like
It was a poignant time in history, of course.
Yeah,
The
the pandemic and just loads of questions. And like I sat there for like 2 days. I'm like, God damn, these are like real questions.
Yeah.
These aren't just like some rapid fire questions like, what's your favorite color? What's your zodiac sign or something?
And it's also harder when it's the destination.
Right.
You're thinking like, okay, potentially 300 million people are gonna get this, delivered to them. I got to make sure my answer is really good.
Right.
So how'd you do it? Well, I guess you don't even know. Probably poorly. They only used one question, Brad.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they'll use like the rest of it. Maybe they'll use the rest of it on like Facebook or something.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Somewhere down the road.
Yeah. Who knows with brands
But it
like
posted,
that.
and did it give you like a bunch of interaction on your Instagram?
Yeah. I think it boosted me probably a good 20,000.
That's nice.
That's crazy.
It also sent a lot of weirdos to my account. Loads of weirdos. People sending me emails. I have nothing to do with like Instagram's verification. One guy sent me a message from Romania. He's like, "Hey man, I see that the main Instagram account follows you. Can you tell me why I always get like a negative response when I ask them if they can verify me?" So I looked at him like, I didn't even respond to him. I'm not in charge of verifying accounts. It's like,
They're just reaching any connect.
Yeah.
I need that blue check mark.
It was funny.
Bad. That is, that's, essentially what the guy is saying. But
yeah, and I don't know, man. I can't help you there.
Any like random like business stuff or anything? I always feel like there's got to be some sort of like girls.
Yeah, you get business stuff. You get loads of just random people. Just kind of come through. They just whatever. They just drop messages. They just say, "Hey," loads of people asking you, "Hey, if you'll follow them back." And
just the normal stuff. Then just people,
business
just people
stuff,
being people.
That business stuff, like people asking for weird requests, like, "Hey, can you promote my brand?" Or the usual mumbo jumbo.
And too, because you've built this huge platform through Instagram, and you're like one of those people who you probably write back to a lot of messages, and you see everything. Basically, it's kind of your work zone in there, and you're just seeing everybody hitting you up, and they're like, "Oh, I know this guy's big on Instagram. I'm just gonna bug him and see if I can get something from him," which is probably almost like a negative because you're trying to kind of get stuff from that post, and you got all these people just like, "Oh, we're gonna use you more and more and more." You're like, "Ugh."
But I actually like, I don't know, like the more the platform grows, I'm starting to pull back on like how I interact with people. Because giving way too much time, it's effortful. I'm like, I can't sit here and reply to every DM that comes through. Some people you drop a story and they just want a reaction out of you.
Yeah,
of course.
Will you talk about this or talk about that?
Well, and then also there's the plight of responding means that they respond back. Oh, yeah. And then you are all of a sudden you're in a conversation. So it is a weird thing, and it's hard for
Brad wants
kids
to talk
understand.
to everybody, but he can't talk to all 9,000 messages that come in every day.
I mean,
you get 9,000 the next day.
I don't want to talk to everybody.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I'm sure you want to give your what's up. Make sure you know that you're
hit him with that little fire emoji,
but not have a full on conversation with everyone. That's what it turns into.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
Like one hand just a wave, like hey. A blanket wave, like
I see you. Respect you. Thanks for the love.
Exactly.
What happened with that broken hand too? So it was broken, and then I saw you make a post because that was your first ever broken bone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then you made a post. Doctor got it wrong. It's not broken. Essentially.
Yeah. So it turns,
What was the deal there? And how have you gone this long?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess still, right? Or what's the story, I guess?
So this is a story. I did break a bone, but it's the scaphoid bone in my wrist. So we're at China X Games.
Mm-hmm.
So I fell down riding the SMP Park. Rob and I were riding, ripping around the bowl, and hit some dusty patch, fell down, smashed my hand into the ground. All right. Got up, we went to the hospital, got an x-ray in Shanghai. Doctor came back and said, it's not broken, you'll be okay. So he gave me a little splint, put it wrapped around my hand.
You still ride X Games?
Didn't do anything. No.
No. Yeah.
I mean the real BMX parts, but like the actual event.
China X. Oh, when you went to China for X Games Real BMX.
Yeah. Oh, I was after the event.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it was the same day that it was over with.
Okay.
I went and just it was better than before the event, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got 2 X-rays. I got one there, left. Then I flew down to where did I go? I went back to the States. I went down to Argentina. Went down there. I was hanging out for a little while with a friend, and it's like my wrist is still not right. So I got a second X-ray, and he said, Leandro told me, he goes, man, you probably got like a hairline fracture on your scaphoid bone, but you need an MRI, and they're not going to be able to see it unless you get an MRI. So I didn't get an MRI. So I ended up.
But you were just running on the fact that it wasn't broken.
Yeah,
How long ago? You say 10 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just went on the fact, like, yeah, it's not broken, whatever, right? But my hand was still weird. My wrist was for the longest time.
It just feels like a sprained wrist forever.
Mm-hmm. But arthritis set in because it didn't heal properly.
Mm-hmm.
So when that crash I had that I posted online, when I said I broke my wrist, I went to a clinic. The X-rayed and lady said it was broken. But what it was an old break that never healed. See, when I went to an orthopedist, he looked at my wrist and he said, well, if this was an acute fracture, I wouldn't be doing this. So he's squeezing on my wrist. He's doing all these little exercises. He's twisting my wrist. He goes, this isn't a new break. He goes, your wrist has been broken. He goes, when did you have that crash? Like about 10 years ago. He goes, it's been broken for 10 years. It's just partially healed. That's what's like, will it ever heal? He goes, no, but over here you see like just a small bone spurs and like you have, arthritis.
Yeah.
So
you broken that bone, right? It's like a BMX bone, basically. So I feel like
BMX
everybody's broken that thing. It's like the small bone in your wrist. It gets really poor blood flow, and essentially, if you break it, you need most of the time to pin it back together because otherwise it won't heal.
So what's the doctor say? He's like, how are you going to get this thing better?
So they didn't recommend surgery. He said maybe down the road you need surgery, but he said just stay off of it, take your time, and it was like, so I'm I'm free to go riding. Was, yeah, you can ride, but it's like, just take it easy. And a friend of mine reached out who's a physiotherapist. So she's like, I have some exercises for you. I know you're going to need it. And I sent her the x-rays. And so she came over, helped me with my wrist a bit, gave me these exercises. She's like, you're just going to have to work through this and figure it out. I was like, she didn't really know. I asked her like if the bone would like eventually heal, but she's like, it hasn't healed in 10 years. It's probably never going to, because that's just what it is.
Kind of is what it is.
But that crash, honestly, I feel like it changed the way how I ride now.
Really? Because it was the Overhard 3, right?
Yeah. And not in a good way. Because now like my fingers, my thumb, my ring finger, index, all this, like they still hurt right here, right at the knuckle, and it both knuckles. So I don't know. Like it's been a few months now, and it still hurt. Like I don't have good grip, so I'm compensating heavily on the left side of my body. So the right side I'm riding, it's more like this.
Yeah, especially head game too. That you're missing.
Huge mental game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What and the clip? So the Overhard 3, and then you posted the Redemption clip. So did you literally go back and redo it?
Yep.
That's pretty. I went
back to do it, but I rode past the rail at least 30 times. Like, man, am I really gonna try it? Because one day I jumped on the rail. I was like, nope, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. Then I got there one day, and I almost did the same exact thing when I spun over the rail, like the crash.
Mm-hmm.
I spun over. It was like nosed in, and my foot slipped off because I thought about stepping over the frame, how I did in the video, and that's why I ended up body slamming. So this time I said, hold on. But then, like 2 tries later, I just went up, spun over, and rode away.
Chilling. Oh yeah.
So you can ride and get stuff done. It's just like still you'll heal up from it, man.
I am. I'm
It
working.
takes a long time.
I'm working on it. It's kind of weird because I haven't had many injuries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're just not used to it, and especially your way of like, you're pretty aggressive street rider. That takes a lot of like full strength. You know, if you were just probably a ramp rider and just only rode ramps, you know, you probably barely notice that. But how you ride is 100% strength. You'll be back. You already are back. I mean, I wouldn't even know you're hurt.
I'm back. I don't feel like.
You're not where you were.
Because you said you posted that thing. You said first whip in 5 months. Then when we were cruising yesterday, you were like, "Yeah, I'm kind of chilling on bars for a little while."
Yeah, I haven't done a bar spin in a long time.
Yeah, because it's like like Daryl Taco, obviously one of the best bars in the game, but he says no unnecessary bar spins now.
Did he mess his fingers up?
Yeah, his fingers just dislocate all the time, and he's like no frivolous bar spins, only bar spins that count. You know, like, and it's like, you just can't take him for granted anymore. So
can't see Daryl messing up a bar spin.
I mean, it happens.
But it happens. I've seen Garrett mess up a bar spin. Remember that X Games? It was like he was warming up and he barred the 16. You were at that one. It was the only time I've ever seen him mess up anything.
Switch bar.
Really, switch bar, something. I think it was just a normal
switch
bar
spin. And I thought I was.
We'll have to fact check this, but I'm almost positive it was a normal bar spin.
Intern.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that we're all sitting there, and I looked over,
whoa,
and I was like,
Garrett
just crashed.
Yeah.
Everybody was like floored by it.
And it was like his first run 16 stair bar spin like that when that X Games setup was huge. Like
that's what I was gonna say. The fact that you said there's a 16 stair at X Games,
X Games used to have some sick street courses.
That would be nice to say again. So
one day.
Maybe. If there, I mean, fuck, is X Games summer happening?
They're doing. I could say they got plans on doing.
Yeah,
things.
they have some. I know about the.
Be
I know
rolled
the ramp
out
stuff
really soon. So.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not gonna say anything that's not rolled out yet.
Okay, fine. I was gonna press. I know about one thing, but I didn't know if they was doing a street event or what. So
back to Brad.
Sorry. We're
BMX news.
We're also filling space.
Okay.
Because we don't know how long we're gonna talk. Right?
True. No, we're not going to go on incessantly.
That's what I'm saying. So we can just bullshit.
So this has been a busy little week of podcasts. We did the Moeller podcast. It was our record for Unclicked, the longest one. Dropped it, and then everybody liked it for the most part, but there was a little drama involved.
Yeah.
With Brad and some of the cult riders didn't like what was said, and some industry drama. Yeah. And Brad hit us up, and we're like, dude, I'd love for you to be able to come here and say your side, and so you can clear the air on how you feel on everything that Moeller said. So anyone who's listening to this, I didn't listen to the Moeller podcast, go back and listen to that so you can get caught up on where we're at right here with this and Brad.
You're right. I'm just here to say my piece, clear the air. I'm not here to hold any grudges. I don't hate anybody, but things didn't happen exactly how he said. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess rolling back to the original Unclicked, you just got on Fit. You know, like it was.
Were you just getting on Fit on that one?
I mean, no. It was like 6 months, 8 months. Yeah,
because you were hanging with Justin and everything
Mm-hmm.
at that time.
That's when you presented the Nor Cup.
Yeah.
So whenever.
That was September then.
Okay, so September.
Fuck, I don't know. November. Horrible sense of time. Sorry.
It was November.
I don't know. Somewhere last year.
Nor Cup's always around October.
Yeah, but last year was an off year.
Different.
Yeah. But you know, it seemed like everything was, from the outside view, everything was going well. It was a good matchup. Like, you know, it was the spark that kind of like brought you know, because as you said, it was like I gave it 6 months, and if it doesn't work out, and Fit was the one that made it work, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so that was like, I mean, that's a magical story in many different ways, you know.
Sweet.
But then after that, it kind of.
Well, how the whole thing started, like I was already in starvation mode,
Mm-hmm.
so I was willing to, you know, take an offer. But Chris and I had a phone call. Chris and I have had very little interaction.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody who knows, like, obviously I've known Chris I know about him, but as far as us like interacting, a few times, even throughout the whole course of the partnership. So he called me, and we talked for like an hour. Great conversation. No, you know, nothing weird.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, "I'll get back to you in a few days. You know, make you an offer." He made me an offer. I didn't like it. I thought it was. I didn't think it was low, you know.
Yeah.
So I responded to him and said, hey man, respectfully, like, I think you're, I think what you've done for the industry and, is great. And I respect everything, respect what you've done, but I can't ride for that price. Like I'm not in the position in my life where I can do that. I'm not, 17. So he said, well, I can bump it up to this. And I declined and said, no, I can't do it. He goes, all right, well, I'll let you talk to Melissa, his wife. So she called me, like, I think the next day. We got on the phone, we talked. She says, well, I think you're worth this. We talked, we had great conversation, talked for a long time. And I had told her what I wanted. So what I wanted was, only thing I wanted, I asked for two things. I asked for the salary that I asked for and a complete bike. I never wanted any signature parts, none of that stuff. So she said, okay, well, we'll do that then. All right. So when I agreed to it, she said, well, you'll ride fit in S&M, everything. Listen, we'll do it like this. But if an opportunity arises, we'll free up that portion of the contract, and you can take on a part sponsor, Yeah. So I'm thinking, all right, well,
which should be pretty normal, right? I mean, I've never been a sponsored rider, but I was
pretty normal. If I look at any other pro rider, I look at the whole team. So that's Tom, rides for Odyssey, Justin, Odyssey, Matt, Odyssey, Hango, Animal, Ethan, I think G Sport, and
mostly fit though, yeah.
Mostly fit, but he still was able to ride other things. Yeah. Right. So I thought, all right, cool. But I knew that the second I got on, and once I knew once the ball had got rolling, I was gonna get calls from people. Yeah. I felt I was like, I just made a big splash. Like, yeah, the ball's rolling, it's moving, like something.
Momentum.
Right. So stuff's cool, right? I'm still like same thing, kind of working through. I'm like, damn, this is still difficult for me. I'm like, not really making ends meet, but I'm like, I'm just doing the best I can do, right? I got on in May. So in July, Dennis calls me. What did you call me about?
This was about, we're trying to get, demolition, not get it going again, but we're in the middle of COVID, we're in the van, we're like, dude, we need someone that's sick in the streets and rides parks and is down for like the road trip life. And I was like, none of them know you. And I was like, let's hit up SIMMS. It's a fucking swing to the wind, a Hail Mary, but let's do it. And that's what I called you about, seeing maybe if you're interested in demolition.
Right. So Dennis called and I said, all right, well, I'm going to be professional about this. I'm not going to just try to, beat around the bush and do something weird. I'll message Melissa. So I called her, asked her about it. I said, hey, I was like, a few months ago you said if an opportunity comes my way, you'll be able to take the deal, right? So I asked her about the thing. She's like, well, who is it? And I told her. She's like, well, no. She said no. I'm like, well, that's not cool. All right. Well, I was like, if you said if the opportunity comes my way, I could take it. I present an opportunity for me to, earn more money so I can, start to, get back on my feet. You decline it. And that's when things got kind of weird. It got weird there. And I was just like, okay, well, all right, I'll do this. And I brought up the, do you remember these watermark videos? Videos that had.
Yeah, I think I remember messaging you about one because it ended with like a Fit logo or something like that, right?
So these branded videos. So you declined the demolition partnership. I was like, okay. So I'm like, what's the alternative? She's like, you have to do. It's like if you'll do you do 5 branded posts a month, then you can get the extra money that you're looking for, which is what I originally asked for. But I'm like, I'm already
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So you're like you're getting the original number, but now you're not allowed to get a parts sponsorship basically. So you're kind of like backed into a corner.
So I'm cornered. So okay, well, and then also this is not like guaranteed income. I'm already out there. I'm riding every day, posting, dropping stuff, and it didn't make sense to me because she didn't like it, I didn't like it, and I had a sticker on my down tube the size of Olympus Mons, right? And I'm wearing the merch. I'm wearing every day I go out. I practically have on a fit T-shirt.
You were doing a great job. You were doing it right.
I thought I was branding and like doing everything I could do, like for a company, right? And so she, like I said, she didn't like it. I didn't like it. Then I quit doing it. I was like, I don't.
Didn't like what?
She didn't like
the branded video.
We didn't like the branded videos.
Neither.
She didn't like it either.
She didn't like both. Neither one of us liked the idea, but she's like, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't like. It's like I need more income. It's like not like I wasn't willing to work for it. It's just neither one of us was into the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
And you're going. I mean, there's trips and stuff like this all at the same time too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like because you did the welcome edit and all that stuff.
Yeah, made the welcome video, came out like at the genesis of the whole like COVID and people were afraid to go outside. I hopped on the plane immediately and just came out, started riding, filming with Justin, and we made a video in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what so where did it go after the branded video stuff? So Demolition and I think so that was in July and then Maxis came about after
No,
that?
not quite. So after that, I was just still riding, just hammering out clips, just doing whatever they, whatever I was supposed to do.
I think you reached back out to me and said that Fit wasn't going to allow it.
Other dudes and do other shit.
This is when I started to feel exploited
Mm-hmm.
in a way. I'm saying, okay, you all are trying to umbrella me. If you told me I can get out, maybe I can grab onto another sponsor, but you won't allow me to do so. So,
what am I gonna do?
like, what am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can only earn this here. Can't go anywhere else unless I get. I said I can't get it. I'm not. You don't want me to get anything BMX related. I have to get down here. So there's no other choice. I was like, okay, I'll start doing some. I'll just say fine. I'll do a signature part because my DMs were loaded. People were constantly posting, making comments on the Fit page about when you're going to drop a Brad Sims frame or other signature parts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I don't want to do that because I don't.
So why not?
I like the idea of a company monetizing my value solely off product sales.
Okay. In lieu of salary, essentially, because I think Demo touched on this with the kind of GT when he did his.
Yeah, he did say something interesting
because he was like, "Oh, I don't want I want my check to be my check, essentially, and not
I don't understand
and not
though,
locked in."
how I do it with my brands is you get your check and then whatever you sell is the extra, right?
But if you're on,
Whatever you sell of your signature product is an extra.
but if your salary isn't up to par, if you're on starving wages.
Oh, so it's just like, let me get my shit up here and don't play around with me in this other.
If what you're making isn't enough to really carry you on, waiting 4 or 5 months down the road to get
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
isn't benefiting you at all.
Yeah.
So that was
You're working on a healthy check in general, not one that varies.
Right.
It's like
I get it.
you have for
Okay.
for a normal company, you have your salary and then your bonus, your performance bonus at the end of the year, and it's like the parts and that stuff is the add-on.
Okay,
It's not
that makes sense
guaranteed
why you wouldn't
necessarily.
want to have.
right.
I get it.
And this isn't.
It can be very lucrative or it can be nothing.
Exactly.
But if you liked your pay and you're stoked on it, you would be down to do that, right?
Right. And this isn't 2003 when like Aiken and people were pushing 300 frames a month, and custom bikes were like
Flying off the shelves.
yeah, they'd be like, oh yeah, cool. I want to build this up. I want this signature part, that part. Now people are just
I mean, especially, fuck with COVID. It's like bikes are going to be hard to get eventually. So if it's like that was the basis of it, it's out of, I think that's what Demo was saying, is that it's out of his control, that he doesn't want his check to go down due to things that are not within
out of
his control.
No matter if you're killing it,
Yeah.
it just, there's slumps in every industry and in the market and whatever.
Yeah. So that
Anyways.
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Just trying to give context outside of.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's spot on.
Yeah.
Because I was confused, but thank you.
Yeah. So you gave in and you did the handlebars, right? Was the first signature project.
I did bars.
Product. I said project.
Yeah. I did bars. I'm like, okay, cool, fine. I was like, I'll do bars. And they asked me about. I was like, fine. I was like, give me a colorway. I'm like, you're already making this frame. It's like, I don't want to cost you any extra money. You have to do any molds. Nothing. It's like, go with the frame I'm already riding. Because like the geometry I want is kind of old school, and I know kids are more into new school geometry. So I'm like, just go with that. You don't have to change anything. Give me a black frame. I'll sign the frame and let that be my colorway. And that happened. Everything sold out immediately. Like it was gone. Whether it be due to, I'm sure partially part of it's due to COVID. People, and also they were fans.
Yeah.
People wanted stuff. My DMs were loaded. I was sending people over. Kids hit me up, and I was sending everybody to the page to like, this is
Swoop it up.
Yeah, go get it.
Yeah.
And you guys were doing a great job at marketing too, because I remember seeing your bars a lot at that time. Something that like you couldn't not see on Instagram if you went on there. Like you and Fit were doing a great job.
I think Fit. Fit does a good job with stuff.
And Brad does too. So
yeah.
Those two together are gonna sell some shit.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, I feel like it was
I think at that point too, it was at any point, it's like when Brad drops like a video piece, you want to see it. So I remember the promo. It was like anticipated. When's the last time you anticipated a bar promo? You know what I mean? So it's it's cool that it did well. So were the checks and everything decent or nice or
what checks
from the bars?
Oh, the incentives.
Yeah.
That's why I said what checks, because I never received a dime from the bars or the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, juicy.
Nothing.
Oh my god.
Not 1 cent.
Yeah.
And is there any reason behind that? Like, did you guys part ways before you were supposed to get the incentives, or was it just never came in general?
It came in general. I mean, quarterly you get paid 4 months.
Oh,
for
okay.
the
incentives.
Yeah.
Well, you tell me, but
yeah, I was still around. I was on the team. There was
Okay.
there were no issues there. I just didn't get anything for it.
Yeah.
And I guess just I don't know how they operate, but yeah, I didn't get a dime from it. I have check stubs.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, there's no incentive stubs at my house.
Yeah.
Didn't get them. So, and then that kind of leads to not leads to it, but Moeller talked a lot about how having representation was good. And at that point you were representing yourself, but you corrected me earlier. Now you have representation after the fact. But at the time it was kind of said that, how did all of it end? Because Moeller was kind of saying that you were asking and where you were like pushing, and where in your defense you had something different to say.
Through me pushing, I only asked for one, a raise, like I was truly in need. 2, because of the conversation I had with Melissa. She said in a few months, like see how things are going. If things are going great, then it's like maybe we can bump up your pay. So I'm like, okay, cool. Things are going great, everything. I called before like things really just kind of just fizzled out. I called her. I asked her about what we can do. And I was like, I'm willing to work for us. Like, what do you need me to do? Like, I said, what can I do? What more do you want me to do for you all? And she said, you're doing everything. It's like, you're wearing the merch, you're riding, you're posting, like your videos go everywhere. They have crazy views on them. It's like, I can't justify paying you more. I was like, is the company like not doing well, or like it's just like a rough time? She's like, I can't justify paying you more, and I didn't get it. Like, you can't justify paying more. She's like, I can't just say yes every time say yes to you every time you call. So it's like, well, if I'm not, if I'm doing everything you want and everything is going well, why can't you meet me there?
Yeah. Especially when, I mean, I guess because your base level is where you're at right now, but you're not able to get a part sponsor, so it should be up from there, I assume, correct?
Right.
Like,
so
so
you're not willing to increase my pay. I'm not allowed to go and get any other component sponsors.
yeah.
You only want me to do signature products under you, and I know that signature parts don't do extremely well unless you have soft goods sponsor. Unless you're not soft goods sponsor, unless you have soft goods. So they asked me, like, all right, well, since wheels are a big issue for me, they didn't want me riding stock wheels. I said, okay, well, we'll do, what you want to do, like signature wheels. So I'm thinking, all right, yeah, I'll try to do that. But in the back of my mind, like, that's gonna take months.
Yeah.
For any of that stuff to come to fruition. One, you got COVID, like there's lack of supplies, stuff going on right now.
Yeah. Stuff is stuck at the ports, etc.
Right. So like, wheels might not come out until 2022.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to subsidize stuff and get you happy, but it's like in lieu of kind of just going there. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like just get there. I get that in a sense, and how that could be frustrating. So I don't know if I should ask this question, but
Ask it.
in the posts that Instagram made, they said that you asked for double what you were currently getting. Is that true? Is that accurate?
I said I was at the top of their pay scale.
Mm-hmm. And asking for double.
Not true, because I wasn't the highest paid rider.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the top of the pay scale. Two, there's a difference from 5,000, 50,000. It's like you working at Family Dollar and your friend working at IBM or Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's living differently, right?
Yeah.
So what I really asked for was only a bit more than what I initially asked for from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really double. It was slightly more. It wasn't an astronomical number. And anybody who's ridden BMX, like for a core company, that the numbers I'm talking about, they're not astronomical numbers. They're not livable wages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are getting them, maybe, but for the most part, dudes are on starving wages.
Yeah, and you need that full spectrum of the shoe, the drink, the
For sure, a frame sponsor and a part sponsor.
Yeah, you're talking about like having representation, but how are you? Why would now that I have a manager and like, we're doing great things together, but why would a manager want to, like an agent, want to entertain those numbers when?
See, I don't think that was about you when he was saying that. Like, I get it doesn't make sense for you, but I don't think he was specifically referring to you at that point. I think he was like referring to emerging bike riders that were like
emerging, or
they were just like
general.
your uncle.
But regardless,
your
that's a good point though. You're making is like.
You couldn't
an
get
agent would,
representation.
if you had a manager at the time, they would say the same thing as like, Brad, let's go.
We're like, hey, brother, like we're not doing this.
Let's go shopping. You're
20% of $2,000 isn't really moving the needle for me, so I don't need that. Like that type of thing. So,
okay.
I get that. I get that from your point of view. I feel like I think he was making a general statement, not necessarily about Brad in that capacity, because I think he was more talking about like young riders, and like if you want to be a professional, you should have representation from a young age, so you don't have to like
a great bit of advice what he said, but what you said is also very true. It's like an agent's not going to want to.
You have a manager, I have a manager, and he'll tell you straight up, it's like, this is not worth our time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's great if you're in the core scene and you're coming up and you want to work with the brand for a while, but you are established. You've been in the game for a long time. You're on your like third go around at a big career, and you know the industry, and you're like, you were growing at a rapid rate, and that's, you guys, it sucks that you couldn't work together, and it didn't, work out. But you were growing, and people, if a company wants to grow too, they need to grow with you.
Yeah, I guess you also, while all this is also happening, you had other offers on the table from BMX and non-BMX brands, correct?
Yeah, I mean, people were hitting me up left and right. I probably had, I don't know, at least 10 offers on the table.
Yeah.
When I called you, I didn't even think you were going to consider it. I was like, I'm going to try, guys. When I get home, and I was like, holy shit, he's kind of down.
Yeah.
It was weird. I've never seen so many people like trying to contact me and talk. I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
Like, I never thought like the splash that I created was going to be that big. So
yeah,
I'm just like, all right, I don't know. So yeah, an offer came through. Another offer came through, and this time it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And this was after I reached out to Melissa, sent her a message. Yeah, it was just before the holiday, and people clock out on the holidays. Doesn't matter for me. If I sent you a text on Christmas, whatever holiday, you don't have to check that message. Like most people, like you're a business owner, business people clock out until after the new year.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect for her to respond to my message.
Oh yeah, it was like on Christmas or something like that, right?
No, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, that's what
I
it
didn't
was.
expect her to respond to my message. I just am like, yeah, she'll get back to me after the new year.
Yeah.
Like most people do. Anyway, but she responded, and she's like, well, let's talk in a few days or whatever. So she called me. I missed her call. Then, because I was out riding, I tried to call her back. She said, hey, we're going through the mountains of Colorado. Let's talk soon. So she doesn't call me back for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to, I don't need to, I mean.
Yeah, she'll call back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I spoke to Justin about, Justin, the TM for Fit. And I spoke to him about the whole thing. I'm just like, what do you think? Do you think they'll cool, right? He's like, it shouldn't. He's like, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm like, it's tires. I'm like, yeah, it's just tires. 2 tires, and that's it. And I was like, this will really help me out. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll tell her about the whole thing. So we got on the phone. This is a lengthy conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We got on the phone. We started talking. Started off great. I started mentioning things and talking about like, hey, is it possible? Can we do is it possible for me to get the salary that I want? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not, so I can't do signature parts. Not signature parts. I can't,
ride for parts company.
I can't ride for a parts company. Or then things like, then how can I get paid? I was like, well, I have a deal, tire company. It's like, can I ride for them? She's like, why would I pay you more to ride less of our parts? And I said, I can earn more money. It'll be easier for me out here,
Yeah.
I just want to
can ride more, produce more,
right,
focus more.
Yeah,
focus more.
It'll be easier on my life. I just want like a course correction. Not like I'm not asking for like some astronomical amount of money. And we kind of got into it and started talking more. And
did you lay out the figures for her? I just out of curiosity, not in any because I guess for the people watching, listening, it's like the Maxxis deal is a non-BMX company. They're a corporate company. The amount of money that they were offering to ride the tires was essentially a lot of money, correct? For riding tires.
For riding tires, like it was a great deal.
Yeah,
great deal, and it was a big enough deal for me where I could just where it wouldn't make sense for me to drop. I was like, this is a big deal. Like if I don't take this deal, then I'd be shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's what you need too. A nice tire deal, a frame deal, a parts deal. Then you could get going. Then the Adidas deal, and boom.
Right. And one of the biggest reasons with the tires thing, I was having so many issues with their tires. I would go out I would say every 2 to 3 days, I was blowing out my tires, blowing out inner tubes. There was, I'd say, for at least 5 months, I was spending upwards of $30 to $40 a month on inner tubes.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, I'm ruining these tires. Like, it's costing me money. Like, I can't afford to spend $30, $40, $50 on inner tubes. Like, this is the middle of the pandemic. Stores are weird. Like, there's limited product everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
the price of everything's going up.
There was like a tube. I remember there was like a tube shortage
You
for a little
said this
bit.
on the Moeller podcast.
There was a tube shortage.
No. Well, there's
Stop saying that.
there's a conspiracy for a tube shortage,
Okay.
and then during COVID, literally
I feel
Connor
like that was just deja vu.
Connor
It's like-
was like, Connor Lodes was like, "Hey, I heard you got a box of tubes. Can I come by your house and get 5 tubes? Because I do have
No,
like hundreds of tubes in my
I would go into
garage."
Walmart and
So,
there was just like 28-inch tubes. You have
Yeah.
a bunch of tubes still?
yes.
We
Should I
get a
protect
couple
my
before we
garage?
leave. No, you should
That's
give them
funny.
out as gifts for coming in here. That's a
I
good
should.
gift.
That's funny.
Yeah,
So,
I'm bag copying some tubes.
Ironically, they're Ride BMX and S&M tubes, though. So
Oh, then no one sees those.
whatever. Okay.
I'm not joking.
You know? I mean, a tube's a tube.
Yeah. Damn
No,
straight.
I wouldn't care if it was
I'm joking. I'm
I
joking.
wouldn't care if it was a Kia tube.
IKEA tube. No.
So running those tires was costing me money. I'm saying, well, I could ride other tires and they make inner tubes and this won't cost me any money.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I
Make you
told her,
money.
Huh?
Make you money.
And I can earn money, right? So I can earn a livable wage there. Cool. Right? So she doesn't really like it. We started talking about it. She said, why? She's like I said, why would I pay you more to ride less of our parts?
And this is what I said on the Moeller podcast is when, and I don't even, because there was more to that, the text that you sent me, but that, you know, from a business owner thing, you're like, all right, I'm asking for more money and I want to ride for, you know, this brand and I have this other opportunity, etc. And it's like, I just know from a business aspect, I said, don't be surprised if they're not receptive to that. And essentially that's what you got from them. And I'm not saying right or wrong, but just that I was being a friend to you. Like, hey, just be ready to like justify this in a sense, because it's like, that's, you know, it's a hard thing to ask, essentially. Like, even if it does make sense in so many different ways, it's still a hard thing to ask. But there's so much more behind it in the sense of like, hey, this is just the number that I asked for originally. I'm just trying to get there. And then you said, you know, as you've laid out, is that you said that I was going to be able to ride for different companies. And so it's like this and that, and it makes sense. But just that, it's like, fuck, like such a hard.
For me, it was just those tires.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the whole
kit.
Wasn't the whole kit, because I was okay. I was content. I was like, all right, fine. I'm not content, but I was like, I will ride for fit and do that. Then this conversation was long. It was like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're just on and on talking about everything. I'm going over stuff.
I don't know how it could go that long.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. It's like,
Because
was the threat like if you ride for Maxxis, there's going to be no more fit?
She
Was that
didn't do that.
She never said that?
She never said that. She just said, fine, go ahead. You want to ride the tires? You can ride the tires. And
I
but
would have taken that and been like, all right.
I was like, okay. I was like, I don't understand why you're so upset or you're about 2 tires.
Because she really wants to hold you on to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cross promoting.
And in the end, it ended up you not being unfit anyways.
It's me cross promoting.
I get it.
I would have been.
I see that.
You'd see me on the Max's page. You'd see me, you know,
Yeah.
everywhere. Like instead of
Having the money to be comfortable too, and that shows in riding and eating better and just like, damn, like you're off like you said, getting off your feet again.
exactly.
Yeah.
I get it.
No,
like
I mean,
it.
I get it too. And I
So
feel
where
like,
to go from the conversation?
Yeah. So in the end, she begrudgingly agreed. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the phone, just because I'm not throwing all persons out here, because the phone call kind of turned ugly
Yeah.
towards the end. But we were talking, and I asked her, and because I'm like, I'm uninsured, you know, during that time, I couldn't afford health insurance. Like I'm riding full time, and I asked her, I said, do you understand like what I do on a bike? Do you understand like I know you don't ride bikes, you don't ride BMX, so I'm asking from a point for like an onlooker. It's like me asking you, asking her what it's like to birth a baby. I could never understand. If you don't, you can look from the outside and say, oh, that's dangerous. But unless you ride a bike, really ride and give blood, sweat, and tears, you can't really tell anybody what it's like to be on that bike and be in that position.
Yeah.
So that's what I asked her. I just said, do you understand like the dangers, like what goes on in this? Not that like I had some huge ego about it. I said, do you understand like how hard this is? Just because I go out and post these like crazy clips on a daily basis doesn't mean it's easy. Just because I can make it look easy does not mean it's easy. It's 105 outside in summer of Austin. I'm riding around, practically getting heat stroke. I'm doing everything you all want.
Having someone film you that you can't even give a little check to too, which would be so nice. Like to have someone.
I'm killing filmers.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's not fun when you know it's your work, but you can't even like have the support to support your dude filming you. Like,
yes.
You need that whole interaction to feel good about what you're doing. Like, I get that. You don't want to throw someone the phone that like, this might take me an hour.
Yeah. So
I'm not even going to buy you lunch because I can't afford that.
Right. So we're talking about it, and I'm trying to, come up with ways to. I felt that the 2 Ride of the Year awards I won was, those are big enough achievements where they would, justify paying me what I asked for.
Yeah.
Right. And just the way things were going, I feel like I was worth
Great
it.
year and ended with Rider of the Year, voted on by the people.
Yeah, 2 Ride of the Year awards.
Yeah.
And
that's why you were getting hit up. You did it. You got in there. When you're saying you were getting hit up, I don't know why or whatever. It's like, that's fucking why.
Yeah.
You did it.
So that whole thing's going on. We're talking and.
Well, you said the phone call, it got dirty, but in the end that it ended with her agreeing. So you hang up the phone and then what?
We got to the park. I'll just leave out some of the mess.
Yeah.
So we get to the. We pull up to the park, and she's frustrated talking to me. I'm frustrated with her. But I was like, all right. It's like, you know what? Well, hold on. No, back pedal.
Yeah.
She said, well, if you have better deals, she said this to me because the call, like I said, the call was so long. She said this to me 5 times. She said, if you have better deals, then take them. And I'm like, that's not reassuring for me because I want to ride for the company. I don't want to ride for another brand. Like, I want to be a part of.
You're trying to make it work.
But you're telling me to leave, telling me if I have the opportunity, then go leave. So, the phone call, and I was like, all right, it's like, cool. It's like, all right, well, I'll talk to you later. And I was like, I'm not quitting, but just, I'm not happy, but I'm not quitting. And I hang up the phone. And that's it. I don't hear anything from her for a while. She calls me back asking about a signature bike. And by this time, I told them, I don't want any signature parts. I don't want anything anymore. I just want these 2 things. Like, that's all I asked for from the very beginning through the whole time was just 2 things. And then it went down to 1. It was like, I don't want any more signature parts. And they just kept calling me and messaging me about signature parts. I was on a flight, landed, got down. Chris sends me a message. He goes, hey, Brad, looks like you're somewhere exotic. Shoot me a message when you get a chance. Send me another one. Like, I just got off the plane. Send me a message. He goes, hey, just want to hit you up, let you know. Hope you're doing well. Want to know if you're, if you want to do signature parts, Then I'm like, why is this still a thing? Why are you still messaging me about signature parts? So I don't want to do them. Then another message comes through, and it's like, well, I see that you're not interested in doing signature parts, whatever. But hit me back. Then I didn't say anything. Like, you're still asking me about signature parts. It had nothing to do with anything that Melissa and I talked about. I get up in the morning, post a video on Instagram with like a little mantra there. Then I get
with a little what?
Like a little mantra, something like
wisdom.
Yeah.
Caption.
Quote of wisdom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So within, I say 20 minutes of my post being live, I get slammed with, basically as opposed to them firing me because I didn't quit. When I spoke to Justin, I said, he's like, where are you staying? What's your position? Like, I was like, I'm not quitting fit. I'm just, give me some time. Let me think, see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I look at the post and I'm like, this is personal and there's half there's lies in here, like, and it's disrespectful. Like, it's personal information, and like, one, I would never do that. I felt disrespected. Two, when you have a contract, any of that stuff, like, you have indemnity clauses. You can't just go slander a person or slander a business. So I thought it was childish, and I thought both of them owed me an apology. I read the message and I looked at it. I called Justin and I called Charlie, and he's like, this is not how you handle business, man. He's like, I told her that you should wait and see what Brad does. He's not going to just leave and quit the company without giving you a heads up. I didn't get a chance to do that. I didn't get a chance to say, hey, even if 2 weeks, just because I didn't respond doesn't mean that I'm quitting. You don't know what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you keep bugging me about signature stuff when I don't want to do it,
Yeah.
what is it?
It's hard. Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks is a long time on one hand, to not talk to somebody, but at the same time, like, making that post without actually, hashing it out is difficult as well.
Like,
Probably longer.
Yeah.
like, that shit happens.
Yeah,
Like,
but if you had a girlfriend, you didn't talk to her for 2 weeks, she'd break up with you.
But that's
If
I was just going crazy, like I have been gone in Europe for months at a time, and I've been gone in Australia for a month with no phone. I didn't talk to anybody, and
Yeah.
I didn't get fired from anybody.
Well, and I'm saying, I'm
Like,
saying
I
this
might
from
not have been the
old.
best at communicating as well.
I'm saying this from old man perspective. Like that's how I, as I said on the Moeller thing, is I think communication is always key. And that's like marriage shit. That's life in general. And it's
great.
Like,
communication is great, but
and
at
so
the same
when
time, you gotta
communication falls
understand.
apart, relationships fall apart. And if you're not saying what
2
you
weeks,
say,
though.
that wasn't.
I mean, fuck, I don't know if the shit's on the rocks.
Okay, there we go. That's a good point.
If the shit's on the rocks, then
I
2 weeks of nothing is like, yeah, it pushed them over the edge. They made an emotional Instagram post.
But I can't picture. Here's the thing: you built this historical company.
Yeah.
I just can't picture them waking up in the morning like that wasn't something you just wrote on the fly.
Yeah.
You thought about that.
Yeah, of course.
That was
She'd
on-
been thinking about it for 2 weeks.
That was on the back burner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way you woke up and I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, she could have been over. I mean, she could have hung up the phone and been over it right then and thinking about it, and then it didn't get any better, and then
I
it
feel
took, and
like
then
he
2 weeks
woke up
closer.
and it was like,
Well, I don't know if it. Well, he said Melissa wrote the post.
she
That's
did
why.
right. She
Yeah,
did
that's
right.
why.
I
So,
just can't picture him. He woke up and was like, you know what? This is like a plausible move. Let's slander this guy on a platform over 300,000 people, but
Yeah.
it backfired on them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was good for it.
Was it
was
good
not
for them? It wasn't good for
It did
me?
not. It did not have the purpose that they
No,
originally set out to do.
I'd say, I mean, the post was crazy.
Yeah.
I sat there for a minute. I looked at it and like, am I really reading this? Like, it was posted on all 3 or 4 platforms, and they were getting chewed out of the frame through the whole thing. There's some people that had their backs
Yeah.
in there because they didn't know those people. Like, oh, he just ghosted them, and that was it.
Yeah.
They didn't know the whole story.
I mean, honestly, you and I talked about it a bit yesterday, and I think in pieces. But like, I don't think I put together the entire picture until this conversation. Like the entire timeline of it hadn't been laid out. I know there was issue with the complete bike stuff and them not paying you what you originally asked for. I knew the pieces of it, but I don't think it got laid out in that entire timeline when we talked. At least, I didn't put it together. So it makes a lot of sense in ways from your perspective, and it's like I get it. I do get it. So.
If you were on market and me and you were arguing about you going to a Levi's deal for a year, and then I just didn't hear from you for 2 weeks, I'd have my fingers crossed. He's gonna say like I'm on, Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, all right, I'm gonna write this message, Like I don't know. It just sounds like I don't know what they were thinking on that. And
I mean that Instagram post was emotional. Like, and
Yeah,
that's the best ways I could say it is like I felt like they were hurt or emotional and they had an emotional reaction. And somebody who has personally had emotional reactions to certain statements or things online, like I have been there, and it's like you're airing out dirty
You can get
industry
very emotional
bullshit.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get super emotional, cry faces, emojis.
You like your
Been
comment,
there, been
comment
there.
wars.
Like,
I've seen them.
What's that?
You like your comment wars.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'm in.
yeah.
I'm in. Fuck it. Leave a negative comment right now. I'll respond.
What were you saying?
Strategically.
Strategically, I'll tear you to pieces.
Think about it for 15 minutes before
Oh,
you
yeah.
respond. Oh, that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Boom.
this
Got
one-
that.
this one
Got
get
you.
'em.
Got
This
that
one's gonna get 'em.
motherfucker.
And they wait 30 minutes and get you better. You're like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, here goes some more time.
Yeah, that's when I delete it.
Yeah.
Just joking.
But people were hitting me up left and right. It's like, this is real.
So you're off fit
So
from reading this Instagram thing.
Yeah.
You see it, you're like,
yeah, they fired me. Like,
And so why didn't you say anything? I guess is the next logical question.
Why didn't I respond to them?
Yeah, well, you said this is literally the first time you've ever discussed this.
Oh,
Via comment, anything on.
I didn't respond to them. I told a few people. Like,
Yeah.
what happened? But when they dropped the message online, I called Justin.
Mm-hmm.
We talked for a minute. He apologized. Like, I'm sorry, man. This is like not. I told her, he was gonna let him tell you whether or not if he's gonna quit. You know, I just don't see him doing that. And since I didn't do it, but while I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, I called Charlie. We talked for a long time because we had to clear up some stuff. And he said the same things. Like, man, this is not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And while I was just sitting there, this kind of thing, like, what am I going to, like, this looks bad on me. I was like, I'm never riding for a frame company or BMX company ever again. That's exactly how I felt. It's like, this is because I wanted them to be my very last. I wanted to end my BMX career riding for them.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I was like, this is it. I'm gonna ride for Fit on my way out.
ride for fit while collecting other sponsors. And
Yep.
yeah.
I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And when I saw that, I was disappointed. I was like, this is crazy. Like, to read that online, had people like coming at me sideways, calling me ungrateful. I'm like, you're calling me ungrateful? You don't know anything about my life or what's going on. You think just because I ride a bike and you see me online with a few 100,000 followers that everything is peaches and cream.
Perception.
Yeah. So you mean loads of people love to speculate.
So did it actually get you down in a sense? Like, what'd you do afterwards? Like, did you go out and ride the same day? Were you like,
No,
I'm fucking chilling for a while?
I did not go ride the same day. I think I went out the next day. I put on a tracksuit, put on an Adidas tracksuit, and just hopped over a bunch of cones with a song on it.
Made a little. What was I think a poignant caption, correct? Or the song was making a statement. Was that what it was?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I think I remember
Something to
that.
do with-
I'll dip it in here.
It was like just haters on my body.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
So
like
it's
that.
people were chiming in, trying to talk shit on me, and saying, "Oh yeah, you're difficult to work with, but you don't actually know what happened." And I didn't think it was anybody's business for me to just go in. It's like, I'm not playing tit for tat. I'm not gonna go in and just slander them. It's like, wasn't all bad. Like, they did, they helped me out. Like, I helped them too. Like, there was some benefit to the partnership.
I love the partnership.
But
That's what I was trying to say in the last
how it-
podcast.
How it ended, how they reacted towards the end, for me, I thought it was unprofessional. It was ridiculous, especially with that size of a platform.
Yeah, I think public stuff like that often backfires. It's hard to resist, though. Like it is. You feel like your version of the truth is correct, and when it's a complicated, long situation like that.
Well, that's why it's so
difficult.
interesting. I'm so glad you came here and sat down and talked about this, because we listened to Moeller's side of the story, and like you said, he wasn't really even involved that much in your guys' deal and what was going on. He's doing so much other stuff. So this whole thing is more you and Fit.
It is,
and
but
that
the
internal
thing-
industry.
The thing with that, he is head honcho there.
Yeah. So when it comes down to it, he is the boss.
But he's still the
Yeah.
boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you listen to him talk on the podcast, it's like, he says, you know, Melissa takes care of all that stuff. He has a team manager. Justin, there's like, she's general manager. Justin's manager. Like, she's still gatekeeper. Like, everything you go through Melissa to get to Chris.
Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, I would have.
And they come to an agreement on certain things.
It's all talked about.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
I would assume that post passed through Chris at some point before it got published. I would think, but I don't know.
I think it did.
Yeah.
But
Assumptions, you know, just like on the Moeller podcast, he was assuming that you might have been riding for a mountain bike brand for 6 months or something.
Which wasn't true. Like, I didn't sign to any other bike brands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was talking to probably at least 10 companies were talking to me. I can talk to anybody I want.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that...
I mean, Chris said it the best. You need to understand your worth to find your own value, and that's what it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I mean, Brad knows his value. You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know. If
He's
it's-
getting hit up
I don't
by
know if
other
it's
companies. That's helping with
bad
knowing your
back,
value.
But I would assume that Brad is one of the only people to turn down an energy drink deal in recent times. You know, from a major energy drink company.
Just wasn't big enough?
Because it just wasn't
Not
yeah,
worth it?
I mean,
It didn't...
it's up to him. I don't know the numbers.
I wanted
or anything,
to something to align with current sponsors. I just didn't want to take a deal and okay, cool. Like if there's someone else who's in need, let them take it. But I was trying to I want to set a standard. Like,
Yeah.
I think athletes, especially within the action sports community, are underpaid. You know, dudes leave the industry high and dry with a pocket full of peanuts.
Yeah,
Like,
that's. I
it's
mean,
not, it's not cool. Like,
yeah.
So this deal came to you from an energy drink, and you were just like, no way, it's not worth it.
I turned it down.
That's cool.
It was the first time I've ever been in a position in my life where I had walk away power.
Yeah, because energy drinks deals used to be huge, you know, in the beginning, and then I think people just started taking lower and lower ones, and
Race to the bottom.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's really cool of you, because you doing that would have been like, whoa, we just got this guy who got Rider of the Year for this much money. Like, boom, just set another standard on what we can get people for the future.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think, you know, as I said, it had to feel good in a sense walking away. You know, like it
felt
was like
great. It felt weird
Yeah.
because it was the first time I was in that position.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I'm going to tell this company no. One that I've considered for years. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
It
I
was.
think
I was like-
I feel like that's the juiciest part of this whole. I mean, maybe the whole podcast is like. I feel like that is like the holy grail for bike riders. Is like you got that fucking energy drink sponsor. Holy shit! And it's like no, it wasn't good enough. You know, and it's like that's cool.
It's not
That's
even, like, being arrogant about it. It's just
No,
like,
yeah.
I don't.
I've seen Garrett Reynolds has also like turned down deals because he knew they were just not worth what they were. I've seen him do that for like
Yeah.
the first 12 years of his career, and I was just like, damn. I'm over here with a huge Rockstar sticker on my helmet, like, you're crazy, you know. But he knew it. He just made his deal bigger and bigger. He knew what he was worth.
Yeah, more desirable.
Yeah.
When all the fit stuff came out, the Adidas news hadn't dropped yet. Had you already signed that Adidas contract?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you knew that was coming. So you at least knew that you weren't like in the fucking gutter when it all
I
dropped.
knew.
Yeah.
I know some good, but I still had to. It was rough. It was rough. It was rocky until. Actually, not quite. I'd say until February.
Okay. So like a month or so, because it was.
February.
Yeah.
Then I did the Taco Bell commercial.
Oh yeah.
That was a bit of my saving grace too.
Fuck it. How much you get paid for the Taco Bell commercial?
$20 million.
Holy fuck.
Nice.
Straight for life.
20 million fucking Gorditas, huh?
20 million Gorditas. No.
Crunch
20
wrap coupons.
million Gorditas. Nah, I'm joking. But no, actually, it was a nice payout.
Yeah.
It was cool. But
Was that a Super Bowl commercial? Or no?
It played some of it like played on the Super Bowl, but it played on like the Daytona 500 on the All-Star game. People were hitting me up left and right.
That's cool.
It was nothing like anything I ever filmed before. But like these crazy production teams. There's like 75 people on set.
Going back to the statement of you don't understand do you understand what I do? They literally did not understand what you did.
Yeah, you're explaining. You've done a commercial before. You're explaining bike tricks, but what you're gonna do to like some dude who's filmed like Steven Spielberg, like I don't know something blowing up or whatever. You're explaining it to like a film buff.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to do what?
You literally have to take your bike and show them what the wall ride is, where you're going.
I mean,
You're like, here.
someone who's like worked in like action.
Hell no, they don't
Stunts for like 20, 30 years would kind of have an understanding of what you're about to do. So he goes, I don't think you're going to land him. I was like, dude, I could do this 50 times. I would not touch you ever.
Yeah.
I won't land on you. And it was just in this huge car. There's a $500,000 Benz, but it's called a Russian arm. It looks similar to this setup, this mic right here.
Mm-hmm. That's actually worth $40 million. Close.
Yeah. So he just driving. They missed me like 6, 7 times in the wall.
Wait, they messed up the clip?
All you had to do 16 times. See the wall?
And wasn't there something where it was like they got bummed on you for not pulling it one time or something?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something about that.
My tires kept blowing off the rim.
Okay, going back to what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
No.
That could happen. I was like, this is...
Maxxis tires?
No. Those tires, Maxxis tires stay on the rim.
Nice.
Plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, check mark.
So, no issues there. All that's, good.
So, plug. What? So you did the wall ride 16 times. That was a big wall ride too, right?
In the video, you probably can't tell.
Yeah.
But there was 2 Jersey barriers stacked up, a huge board, and Nate Richter was riding next to me and Jerome. So they saw I did a wall ride 16 times, which was the easiest part, but cab bike malfunction. So I'm just like repairing my bike like every other jump. I was landing 2 tires every time, like not doing anything crazy. But the hardest part was saying the line. The line was rolling down, filming. How many times do you need to say this? Because from what the people say, they say commercial stuff is more difficult than movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they say commercial stuff has to be perfect. Everything's got to be spot on. Movies, people can they can ad lib, they can do whatever. But with commercial, like this is the line. You say this line 7,000 times.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. So I guess I don't even remember you talking in it. What was the line? You said it 16 times. You better remember.
No, I did the
7.
I did the stunt 16 times. I probably said that line 5,000 times.
That's why you get the 50 million Gorditas.
50 million Gorditas.
Yeah.
So now where you at? You don't want to ever ride for a core bike company again.
That's not true.
That's what he just said.
I know, but come on.
That's what he just said.
I mean,
that's like depressing. That's why I don't want them to be true.
I'm not. Like I don't think I will. I mean,
what brands would you ride for?
What Chris said, that and just
you just have you're sour about it, like sour taste. Does that make sense?
I just feel like now anybody who's like a core company who's considering me thinks I'm asking the world now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully this conversation just clears up the fact that you're just asking for what you believe you're worth.
Brad's side of it.
That's it. I just what I'm worth. I just don't. If I was going to consider a company right now, I would. Let's see. I would do Kink.
Mm-hmm.
Kink. Colt.
Mm-hmm. Short list, I assume.
Kink, Colt. I guess that's probably it.
Yeah.
Kink they do. I'm giving free promotion here, but they do great work.
They do shit right. Yeah, they do.
I like what they do.
Team's dope. J-Ro's amazing. Products are good.
Travel game.
Daryl's.
I can see Brad on Kink.
Daryl's filming's on point.
Yeah, Daryl's an amazing filmer.
Colt's cool.
Colt's amazing too.
All that, they do good stuff.
That was kind of funny. I thought about, this is off topic, but talking about Robbie and Moeller don't get along, and granted they don't get along or whatever, but both those guys, like the Shield has been helped so many jams, and Colt's helped so many jams. It's like, it's a shame. I wish those guys would just be friends, and I know they're not going to. Yeah. I see you're smirking over there, but it's like,
no, cool.
Cool.
I was just thinking the comment about send them some flowers, like that's what it was like. I know though, like it's so funny. The conspiracy theory is like so if you run through the facts, it's so funny.
Yeah, I
Like,
think from Moeller's podcast is Brad rebuttal, and I think Colt that'd be a good one to have their rebuttal on their side of
Yeah.
things, how it happened, because that was Moeller's side, and I would love to know like what Robbie and those boys say about how Colt started on their end.
Moeller said if you invite everybody that has problems with me on the podcast, you're going to be doing this for a long time.
And here's the thing. I don't have problems with
Yeah.
these guys. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not holding any grudges.
Yeah.
Like I said, my interaction with the whole thing was completely different. And I've heard this from a lot of people who've gone through their doors.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like people were like, some people just said, they just flat out, when it happened, like, that didn't take long. Told you so.
Mm.
And I was like, I had to start somewhere. I had to, get my foot through the door.
Yeah.
So,
What is next? What you got going on next? I saw you were in Mexico. COVID's winding down. You got Adidas and 510 supporting you. You got Maxis supporting you. What's next on the timeline?
what's next on the timeline? I guess you have to wait and see. You know,
Okay. Nothing? No trips?
trips. I'm flying back home.
Oh, okay.
That's a trip back home.
Okay.
Where, Baltimore? Or like, you from Maryland area, right?
No, I'm going a little trip with my friend John. We're gonna go up to the East Coast.
Shout out to Saunders.
Saunders, yeah. And we're gonna go back there. I haven't been back to Maryland. I haven't seen my family in, like, probably a year and a half.
Nice.
So we're gonna do that.
Sure they're proud of where you've gone in the last
Yeah.
couple of years.
Buy some bikes. Go party. Go treat the family. Do a little something.
Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't really treated myself, like really celebrated.
Cool.
The new achievements. So I think that's important. To give yourself, quarterly treats. Just because what's the point? You
Got to
do
have
all-
a balance.
You do all this work and you don't
Treat
actually
yourself.
Treat yourself.
What are you doing better now monetarily than the Target Hoffman kind of peak? Like
The
you
last
think of,
Brad Sims career?
Yeah, the last. Is this
The other one?
Is Brad 3.0 doing better than Brad 2.0?
Brad 3.0 is most likely going to buy a house.
Fuck yeah.
Nice,
So
dude. Where are you going to buy that house?
San Diego.
I don't know.
Nah.
We'll see.
That'd be cool.
Would be. You got some real estate for me?
I don't even know what the hell's going on in San Diego. I don't want to look at the prices, man. I
Expensive.
don't think.
No, I'm doing better than ever.
Fuck yeah.
Like I said, this is the first time I've been in a position now where I can afford to buy a house now. If I want to get a vehicle, I'm here. Like I'm taken care of now. I feel great. And it's right now. I feel like it is a little scary for me because this is the first time I've been in a position where I can kind of start like dictating where things go.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm just taking anything just so I can like survive. Like my head is above the water. I got a clear view what's going on. So
Because Brad 2.0, you were more on the terms of like take the money and go see the world. It was a little different. Like you were kind of directing your life and more to see the world. It seemed like not to station down and get your feet on the
'cause
ground.
It wasn't enough to really.
Do this.
Yeah, because it was cheaper for me to move around, to catch these cheap flights, to go here, go stay there, and shack up, hang out with some riders in the third world country, and you could live off a few $100s a month. Whereas now, like, okay, if I'm here, I'm grounded, and I'm 35 now, like I'm actually building a life. So right now, like any companies like I partner with, they obviously know like, hey, I'm not 18. I'm now like if you're investing in me, you're also like helping invest in like my future because I've only arrived at this level for so long, and I'm planning on riding and doing it for as long as I can.
It's a cool thing though. You can now, being smart and getting these big deals, you can keep going into your prime, but whenever you feel like you can't keep going past that, you can just keep making BMX look cool with good ideas and being like, hey, let's do this. Let's put some money behind a trip and bring the boys and we'll film all of it. There
Right.
needs to be more of that, like the culture behind BMX with people like you being able to do that instead of just as soon as they pass their prime and they're just like, oh shit, I can't do this anymore. I'm broke. I got to get a job. Instead of like, let's be creative and think about these things.
Yeah, it just also comes with, people not being financially literate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just learning about finances now, how to.
And you're only 35 though. That is kind of average. I feel like, like most,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
kind of
was-
mid 30s when people start figuring this shit out.
There,
You got to see the world and then now do this. Like it's pretty dope.
But that is strange though, because it's like struggle, and most people I know are like 35, 40 or whatever. Like that's when they're starting to hit their financial peak, or like they're starting to hit that like the upward trajectory, and it's nice now. It's almost like you had this struggle, but now it's almost like, hey, you're kind of on time, but you're also behind. In a way.
Nah,
But you're so
I mean,
far ahead
yeah.
because you've seen the world. Everybody else is the whole get the house, the foundation, white picket fence, whatever, the dream, and then like try and travel with that money later. And you could still always travel, but it's like, man, you really get to pick where you want to go now because you've seen the world. You don't like, let's go try this and try that. It's like you've seen over 100 countries, man. That's
The
some
experiences
priceless
are-
shit.
The experiences are great. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but you can't do much with a
passports, filled up passports.
Yeah, with a full passport.
But you can do a lot with memories in your head
Yeah.
You can.
No, it's I mean,
and
it's
wisdom and life experience.
Sure, you
yeah.
can.
You're more cultured and experienced than 99.9% of the world, and like you have to be proud of that, and you fucking did that. And now you do the next thing, like, and that's it. You're not behind. You're not, as Dennis was saying, you're not behind the curve. Like,
I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like, around 35, 36, I was like, oh my god, I need to get my shit together and make sure
Seems
that,
pretty
like,
average.
my
Seems about the kinda age
I
time
have a
people do
life later, So that's just that's part of growing up. That's what I was
I
saying.
guess that depends
Yeah.
on like who you are.
Consequences. The idea of consequences comes in later in life, you know.
Right.
So
So I'm just kind of thinking down the road where that's when I like, didn't actually have the opportunity to like really kind of cultivate these things.
Yeah.
So now, like, the opportunity's here now.
fucking embrace it. That's all you can do. We kind of circled around a little bit, but Adidas, how did that whole thing come about? What is the deal? Why is it Adidas 510? I don't necessarily understand what projects. I got so many questions. What projects do you have lined up? Are they going to sponsor more people? Is there going to be a Brad Sims signature shoe? Go.
You got loads of questions.
Nice.
Well,
Run-on question.
That was 5 questions. That was not a run-on question. That was 5 questions.
well, all that's. Oh, goddamn. Well, you know how the whole thing came
Yeah,
to life?
I mean, just like they hit you in the DMs, and then all of a sudden you're like,
No.
you know,
That just came from me. Like I used to try to I used to represent myself a bit.
Yeah.
So I reached out
okay,
I knew one of the mountain bike guys who were on 510. I was like, this dude's super dope. I was like, I wonder if he's like how connected he is. So I shot him a message. He told me who his team manager was. So I do what I do. You know, I have an athlete profile, a deck. I sent that paragraph introducing myself, you know, all my social media links and stuff. So responded to me. Sent me a message back. So like, well, I see what you're doing. I see that you're a legit rider and yada, yada, yada. Well, right now we're not really looking to put anybody in BMX on. But if you want, we'll send you some shoes, send some feedback. But if I were you, I would entertain searching for other sponsors. And
not the best reply.
I'm like, damn, that's what am I gonna do with that?
Yeah,
You know, I get shoes, try them out. I'm like, damn, I really like these shoes. Like, they're nice. I sent feedback, didn't hear anything back. I'm like, yeah, I just sent like a detailed, product review, and
Smart. That's cool.
nothing came back. All right, so I was just riding. Then I was in Seattle on a trip, and I was like, you know what the hell with this? It's like, even though I didn't hear anything back, it's like I'm gonna message them back again and see what happens. So, like the 3 or 4 months that had gone by, they had been watching. So I had no idea they were watching. So I messaged back and said, hey, I really like the shoes. Like, I'm interested. Like, you all don't have anybody for BMX on here. I think I could, I could do the marketing representation for. I can be the BMX ambassador. You know, for now until you decide whether or not if you want to do a team, I can do the job right now. Like, I'm good with social media. Okay, we're doing this, and responded back and said, "Yeah, I've been watching your page. Like, you actually become like one of my favorites to watch." So you went from like not even being interested to like, "Hey, this is what I mean, you're like one of our favorites to watch."
Yeah.
So we started talking. Like, well, what do you need to make it work? It's like, oh, I can, for this. Then we started talking about apparel, footwear, and apparel, because like the 510 used to just be like a rock climbing shoe.
Okay.
Then Adidas bought 510, I guess like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Something like this. So it's all Adidas, but the 510 is outdoor. Same with like Terex.
Okay. I'll pretend I know what that is. Keep going.
It's Adidas. It's just
Okay.
like different. This is just Adidas. It's like Adidas original. Like
Okay, yeah.
it's like Adidas football, Adidas basketball, Adidas. So all these massive entities have separate entities within them.
All right. Yeah. I know.
So that's how. So I'm on for apparel and for footwear.
After this guy said he's been watching you, that's
Actually,
when
the lady
the lady saw this, and then you got the ball rolling with that. Though you kind of skipped
got
out
the
on
ball
all
rolling,
that
but still
between
wasn't-
that and the deal.
It still wasn't set in stone. She said, "All right, so this is what you know. Okay, I said, I'll see what I can do, but I can't guarantee you. I can't promise you a contract." So my fingers are crossed. So
Yeah.
And this is
That's nice. So it went from give us a product review to
That's-
contract is in the sentence now.
That's a valuable lesson. Like, hey, you stuck with it. You didn't just like rock the shoes for a week and then
Right.
and then
But you also didn't annoy him either. You like kept
No.
it.
Yeah.
You kept it nice and classy. Just
See, were you rocking
a little
shoes
push.
for that entire 3 or 4 months, like on every post, or was it?
I got a little frustrated one time.
Yeah.
Because like, I wasn't hearing anything and I didn't know. So I think it's a few times I like switched up. I just had some all black shoes on.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'll try these out. I'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
Then I just start wearing them all the time, like every post. Then I was back in Cali, same thing, hanging out with Justin, and she sent me an email. It's like, all right, I can get you a contract.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, oh my god! And she sent over like a rough draft. I read over it, and it's like, well, this is life changing for me. And I'm still I'm proud that I did this, and I'm happy I did this deal because I guess it was like the biggest one I've ever done, and I did it on my own because I wanted to do it, make this deal happen like without like having any kind of representation other than myself. That way, I was like, I get to structure this. I did the whole thing, and I don't have to. Nobody else gets points off of this one particular one. Anything after this, people can get points off of.
Your
Like
management.
my manager, he can get points off of. I was like, I want this right here. Like I don't want anybody to touch. This is like my little baby right here. Like, and then I went back and forth, like, kind of negotiating, trying to get things done, all the wording and everything, and just all the
Nice.
So
paperwork. So once that happened, like I signed, and we made the announcement video, and here we are.
Another
cool.
thing, you look cool as hell on Adidas, and it's a good team. Are
Thank
we
you.
going? Is there going
Wait, what
anywhere?
team?
Huh? They
What
make
team?
a good team. Like
Oh,
how
they
him
make
and
a
Fit
good
did.
team.
I was
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
But this Adidas and Brad
Yeah.
thing is like, oh shit, Brad 3.0 is moving up.
yeah. So is there plans for is there plans for projects, or is there like, are they going to add? Is there going to be a BMX team?
We
Like,
have
I
plans
don't-
for projects. I think there's plans of expanding. Adding
Cool.
people to the team.
You and Chad.
down the distance.
Yeah, because I feel like
Man,
didn't
you and Chad on
Martinez
Adidas.
had a little Adidas.
That
thing
was
for a little
before.
bit,
There was a
and
Martinez,
then-
Doyle, and a couple Van maybe. That was Adidas before you got
Van,
involved at all.
you think?
Yeah, they were all like Adidas Flow.
See,
Yeah.
I don't know how it worked.
That was a while ago though.
See, that was probably just.
Corey's was recent. I feel like
It was a bit ago.
conception of
See,
time.
that was.
Yeah.
See, like I said, there's a difference. Remember how they had, like I said, the different entities within the brand.
That was not 5'10" at all. It was some other woman they were talking to.
It is 5'10", and that's like outdoor. That's biking. These are specific bike riding shoes.
Okay.
So it makes a lot of sense.
So if I'm riding my bike, I have to be in 5'10s.
Are those 5'10s?
No, these are just normal.
These are just your chiller Adidas? Okay.
It's casual wear, like I'm wearing normal Adidas shoes, like whatever from the line. But if I'm on my bike, I need to be in 5'10s.
Cool.
That's cool though, because you can almost, it's not wrong for you to be in Adidas also. So that's
So when
cool.
you're chilling, it's Adidas. Riding, it's 5'10". For the most part.
Still Adidas. It's
Yeah,
just,
cool.
like, I'm in the Adidas riding, bike riding shoes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's just kind
Really
of
cool. Hell yeah.
So as far as like, what would you say?
projects
go. There's some in the works. I just really need to make a decision on what I want to do, because I don't.
That'd be really cool to see you do something with your own creation that's not just a normal street video part, with a little budget and
wall shit.
wall shit.
Just joking. That was a joke from yesterday.
That's what
I'll take that out.
Yeah.
Just leave it in.
But that's what I don't want to do, is just make another just a crazy straightforward BMX video. People,
Because you've kind of changed your approach on that. You almost just make a long video part through Instagram. So if you're going to do a project, might as well make it different than what you're already posting all the time.
yeah, because I want something that transcends BMX, that draws people in, that puts us on the same playing field as other elite athletes. Because we are, but people are like, oh, you're not, just go get a job, or whatever. You guys are just, some dirty kids riding bikes. I'm like, yeah, we're elite riders, elite athletes, like, who should be viewed in the same light as a hockey player, a football player, whatever. Like, we take risks too. Like, are you trying to tell me that doing a 360 down, a 25 stair is less dangerous than you shooting a 3-pointer?
I agree.
You're getting tripped up like playing anything, like you playing football.
I'd say doing a 360 down a 3-stair is more dangerous than shooting a 3-pointer.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm just not trying to take away from
Yeah.
any of them, but I mean, there's minimal risk playing ball.
Yeah.
Compared to what
You have to be a very, very high-end professional, but the risk-taking on BMX is some of the craziest risk-taking there is. Watching someone film a video part and doing their craziest shit, like, I've been born into that for the most part. Half my life's been spent watching that, and I'm still like, fuck, we're crazy. When you're watching someone do something that you're like, man, like, you watch them getting hyped up to go down this rail, you're like, fuck, this is scary.
Needles the whole time.
It's fun watching someone. It's so crazy. Yeah.
I do hope that the industry gets to a point where it does grow, and people can get paid
with people
a
caring,
living wage.
And it's interesting because Brad and Moeller and that whole thing are on very different ends of the story, but Chris has always tried to bring up core BMX and done his 30 years of it, and then there's Brad who's doing you and thinking outside of the box and where you're thinking with BMX. It's crazy, you guys. It's a difference, and it's a little bit of drama, but you guys are both so like rad and seeming to like, he's trying to make the coolest shit he can and do jams and stuff, and you're trying to show the professionalism of a BMX rider. Like,
I'm trying to do all of that.
Yeah.
But also there's companies that are in position to change the narrative, but they're not changing it.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome about you, is going out and finding companies that are going to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm finding brands that are outside BMX.
Well, now they're inside. All of a sudden.
They're in, but still, like, people are like, oh, you need to go outside of BMX. Like, no, I know it's here in BMX as well.
Yeah.
There's a reason, like, you don't just see people just, with multiple properties and then tell you, oh, there's nothing in BMX. No, if there wasn't anything in BMX, then how do you have these properties? Like, you're profiting in one shape or form.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It is a
Funny industry.
an interesting thing. Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah.
Where there's people really doing it, and then
I always want to play devil's advocate, but it's like yeah, like if we're referring to Moeller specifically, it's like, yeah, he's also had that company for 35 years. Like, you can make $80,000 a year for 35 years and basically.
He's worked hard as fuck too,
Yeah,
consistently.
so it's like,
you know?
it's one of those things where it's like, it's fucking difficult to say that. But are there BMX owners out there that are taking more than their share and underpaying their riders in, like fucking probably.
Probably, and then there's also
like,
riders.
Not saying, not
that,
saying Moeller specifically, but there are. That's a fucking world. Corporations versus their employees. That is a very minimum wage. The whole it's a polarizing topic, and that shit trickles down to other industries.
Here's the crazy thing, though, which I've seen throughout my entire career. Even for you, name another industry where people earn the same salary year after year with no increase.
Yeah.
But in BMX, though, is in defense towards that, I've seen people give it year after year and get increases.
Yeah, but for the most part, I know guys have been on the same salary for 5 years, no increase.
Yeah, it's also, I mean,
like taught to ask for these things.
Yeah.
Well, like for my time at Ride, we started a magazine company. It's doing pretty good at the beginning, but it had already peaked. And as the industry itself declined and revenue declined, I mean, I went 4 or 5 years without a raise. Like that. If the industry and the business as a whole isn't doing a raise, then they can't take a 3% bump in raises for their employees when they're down in the red. So not saying that it does happen, like in corporate America or whatever. So, but yes, and generally speaking, like my wife who works for a larger corporation, she gets a fucking raise. Like that's pretty much
kind
mandatory.
of a weird thing in our industry too, because you have the core brands, and then say they cap all their riders out here, then there's the more corporate brands up here, and like the GTs, Mongooses, things like that, where you need those offers to even like know that you have the value, and then you tell the core brand and they're like, we can't keep you because we're kind of capped out at this roof. So it's this weird, like, you can get the top over here, you can try and move up here and get the top of this into the spectrum. Yeah. That's kind of like I'm saying, our industry has like core and corporate, and it's like this thing that people don't really even understand, like what brands are core and corporate if you're on the outside, and like why people are getting paid this and why people are getting paid that.
This is a very large topic.
Yeah, we're talking about money on the podcast.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like it's just like the old adage.
We've been doing this so much, I forget we're podcasting.
Yeah,
we're starting to say some cool stuff.
Core is poor, and then you have brands like Mongoose that they sell to Walmart, and they make all these low end bikes. And if I post anything about Mongoose, then it's like there's comments about how it's a shitty brand and they don't get where it fits in the spectrum of the world of BMX.
But you got to remember, they're paying their riders a good wage.
Their riders
like,
a great
awesome.
wage that makes them have a living, and it's like it's such a. I feel like for the people on the inside that are in the industry, it makes sense, and for people that are on the outside that don't necessarily like live and breathe BMX, it's like it's hard to understand. It is. Mm-hmm. It's a really complicated subject.
I've been in it my whole life, and it's hard for me to understand. Yeah, so I'm just always like, like this guy gets that much, this guy gets that much.
And guys who are on, not saying the people who are on Rapid Core companies are being properly compensated, and the ones that are on core, same thing. But not everybody has the same interaction with BMX, even on a pro level. Like I feel like I'm one of the few riders have gone from 99% into the 1%.
Mm-hmm. And you're probably one of the only who've done that in a year, because usually that takes people a long time.
You're probably kind of 1% and then 99% and then back to 1%, I would assume. I mean, or actually, am I just have a misrepresentation of those glory days?
Because there were 2 years where when I was on Hoffman and Target and stuff, that's when like things got easier. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like super comfortable, but it was pretty comfortable for a bit. Then that kind of got stripped away. It was gone.
Yeah.
Then I got on when I was on the set. That was cool. That happened, but that was also short lived, maybe a year. And after that, it was a decade of just essentially just struggles.
Yeah, peanut butter sandwiches.
Not quite. But,
yeah. Yeah, it's fucking.
So that's why it's an interesting topic to talk to someone like you about it, because you've been on both sides now.
1%, like it was 1% to 99. Now back to the 1%.
Yeah.
Which is,
Oh, sorry, I was checking the cameras for everybody that doesn't. The intern is very lazy. So,
Oh.
yeah. So, well, I think that about wraps it up. Maybe we'll save the
Whatever
whole.
you want
I mean,
if you want to end it with
yeah.
anything, but I mean, yeah, you said your words and
yeah, like I said, I'm not holding any grudges. I don't hate anybody. Like, I wish them all the best. Like, if I see you, if you want to shake my hand, man. Same for, just, that goes for Chris, Melissa. I'll hate either one of you all. But, like,
Yeah.
that's just, that's what it is. I'm going to continue riding and, you know, living my life. I'm in a great position. I'm happy, and, yeah. Peace,
Oh, yeah.
Peace
No.
and blessings. Yeah.
That's
cool,
good.
man. Thanks, Brad. I'm really proud of you. You're the man. Thanks for coming in and being down. You hit us up and wanted to say what you want to say instead of holding it in. And I love that you came here and did it on this. I think it's the coolest thing you could have done.
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me back on.
Thanks, Brad.
dude.
Thanks, Traction Coffee, RBMX, and Brad Simms. Peace and love.
Hey.
Thank you.